All right, let's get right into it. Today we're talking about something truly special, iced out buffs. You know what I'm talking about, those iconic, very expensive Cartier buffalo horn frames. Look, these aren't just sunglasses, right? They're a massive statement, a serious investment. So the big question is, how do you keep them looking absolutely flawless? Let's dive in.
So you've dropped the cash, you've got the piece, and you wear it with pride. I get it. But are you really protecting that investment? It sounds like a simple question, but honestly, the answer is everything. It's the difference between that incredible shine lasting for years or just fading away way too soon.
And that's why this first section is so important. We've got to talk about protecting your investment. Because here's the scary part. Really simple, everyday mistakes can cause permanent damage. And I mean permanent, the kind you can't just buff out. Our goal here? Make sure that never, ever happens to you.
Look, we're not just talking about a few annoying fingerprints or smudges here. This goes way deeper. When you don't care for these properly, you can literally strip away the protective coatings on the lenses, you can dull that amazing finish on the frames, and you can even mess with the whole structure of the glasses. The stakes are seriously high.
Okay, but don't panic, because now we're going to get into the solution. It's time to build your essential toolkit. And the best part is, you only need a few key things to get a totally professional level clean, right from your own home. It's easier than you think.
All right, the details here are absolutely critical. First up, you need a lint-free microfiber cloth. A regular one, it's just going to leave fuzz all over the place. Next, and listen up, your lens spray has to be alcohol-free. Why? Because alcohol will literally eat away at your lens coatings. It's a disaster. And finally, a really soft bristled brush, kind of like a new makeup brush, is perfect for getting into all those little nooks and crannies without, scratching anything. These three things, this is your holy trinity.
Okay, so you've got your gear. Now it's time for the main event, the 5-step clean. And seriously, don't think of this as a chore. It's more like a ritual. A little bit of self-care for your best accessory. If you follow these steps, I promise you're going to get that flawless, just back from the jeweler finish every single time. Step 1 is all about the prep work. Before a single drop of liquid touches these glasses, you've got to get rid of all that surface dust and junk. Think about it. If you just wipe down gritty little particles, you're basically scrubbing your lenses with sandpaper. That's how you get all those tiny micro scratches. So, first things first, gently brush everything away. Okay, next up, the wash. Now the key here is lukewarm water. Not hot, not cold. And just a single drop of mild dish soap. Seriously, that's it. You don't need to go crazy with the soap. Just a gentle little lather with your fingertips is all you need to cut through all the oils and grime. And this next point, I really need you to hear this. Never, ever use hot water. I'm serious. Super hot water can actually warp the frames and make the coatings on your lenses start to crack and peel off. If you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, please let it be this. All right, time for the rinse. Once they're washed, you gotta rinse them off really well. And here's a little pro tip. If you want a truly spotless finish, use distilled water. The reason is simple. Regular tap water has all these minerals in it, and when it dries, it leaves behind those annoying little white spots. Distilled water doesn't. Step 4, drying. And how you dry them makes a huge difference. You're going to take that clean microfiber cloth and gently pat them dry. Don't rub, okay? Just pat. And whatever you do, please don't just leave them to air dry. That's basically just asking for those mineral spots to show up and ruin all your hard work. And now for the final finishing touch, the polish. Now, this step is really for those of you with gold or plated frames. Maybe once a month, just take a jewelry polishing cloth and give them a quick once-over. It's going to bring back that deep, rich shine and keep them looking like they just came out of the box. So, doing a deep clean is awesome. But let's be real. What you do every single day matters just as much, maybe even more. So let's talk about mastering daily care. These are the golden rules, the little things that stop the damage before it even starts. Let's make this super simple. The do's and don'ts. Do store them in a hard case, and always with the lenses facing up. That's key to avoiding scratches. Do handle them by the frames, not the lenses, to keep your fingerprints off. And here's what you don't do. Don't just leave them lying around on a table. And a huge one, don't let them get near stuff like hairspray, perfume, or salt water. That stuff is like poison to the finish.
Okay, so we've covered a lot that you can do at home. But it is just as important to know when to, well, stop. You've got to know your limits. And that brings us to our final section, when it's time to put down the cloth and call a pro.
And the bottom line is really simple. Trying to play handyman and fix structural problems yourself, it almost always does more harm than good. You try to fix a bent frame or a loose hinge, and you could end up with permanent, really expensive damage. Trust me, for anything beyond a simple clean, an expert is your best friend.
So what are the red flags? When do you absolutely need to see an expert? Well, if you have deep scratches on the lens, the kind you can actually feel with your fingernail, if you've got loose hinges or a broken arm, if the frames themselves are bent or misshapen, and of course, anything to do with prescription lenses. These are not DIY projects. Just don't do it.
So, that's where we'll leave it. Because at the end of the day, these are so much more than just eyewear, right? They're a statement. They're a part of who you are. So now that you have all this knowledge, the question isn't really if you can protect them anymore. The real question is, how are you going to preserve yours?
And just a quick disclaimer before we go, this guide is for informational purposes only. This content is not endorsed by Cartier SA. Thanks for tuning in to this explainer.